When we open a bag of chocolates, we never know which flavor we're going to get. It could be the milk chocolate, the white chocolate, or the dark chocolate. But it all serves the same purpose, no matter whichever flavor we get. Just a light little snack for our tummy. But why chocolates? What if I say that the people that were, are, and will be in our life are like this pack of chocolates? Even if they bring their own flavor into our life, it could be love, joy, or even bitterness, just like the dark chocolate. But they all serve the same purpose. They are all here to complete the plot of our life. Out of all the people that were, are, and will be in our life, let's enhance it on the flavor of people that brings bitterness. These people that bring bitterness into our life, they are the ones who act as an antagonist in our life story. They created unwanted scenarios and bad moments and bitter memories that somehow sticks with us the most. And our first trauma response to that is usually trying to forget it as hard as we can, just to brush it off our mind. But what if I tell you that the best solution is actually to forgive, but not forget? Forgive. It is a simple word with a simple meaning. But somehow, when it comes to action, it becomes something so complex for people to do. In here, I want to tell you why forgiving is way better than forgetting. But sometimes, when someone said, "Yes, I do forgive you," that doesn't fully mean that they have fully forgiven from within. So this leaves us a question. How do we actually forgive? Forgiving is an act of letting go. When we want to let go, we need to let go of the bitter experience and those burdens that we are keeping in our backs daily. And what does it take to let go? It takes acceptance. But before we jump into that, let's dive in deeper into what causes those negative thoughts and those bad moments to replay in our minds that hinders us to forgive. First of all, emotions is the base on how dozens of our thoughts are made. Our thoughts is all made by our emotions. I want to ask you guys to imagine our emotions just like the computer files that we have in our computers. Usually when we have these files, we are keeping images, documents, pictures inside of these files. And those things inside of the files are just like our thoughts. What happens if we change the format of the file? Obviously, everything inside it will also be changed. All those pictures, those documents, it will all be changed. Same goes with our emotions. If we change our emotions, every thought that follows along with those emotions will also be shifted. Here, I have the Hawkins chart of vibration. This is like the level of emotion that humans can experience. So, I want you guys to see this as a traffic light. On the top part, this is like the green light emotions. It is the good emotions that you guys can experience. The feeling of love, joy, peace. While on this blue color, it's like the yellow light emotions. These are like the okay emotions that we can experience. Feeling of willingness, acceptance, or even pride. While at the very bottom, this is the red light emotions. Red light emotions are the bad emotions that humans can experience. When we are feeling those bitter moments, we feel sad because someone hurt us. We feel angry because we let someone hurt us. Those are all the red light emotions. But through this chart, does that mean that we always need to stay in the green light emotions? Obviously not. Our emotions are always going to be fluctuating day by day. We cannot just stay in a yippity mood all the time. And if you're experiencing these bad emotions or the red light emotions, it is totally okay, and it is not illegal. But that doesn't mean that you can always stay in these red light emotions every single day. When you are experiencing these red light emotions, it is the time that you need to take action. When you are experiencing these red light emotions, it is an SOS sign to yourself. Use it as a warning to yourself that something is triggering within you. It could be either when your values aren't really recognized enough, or maybe when your priorities aren't prioritized as how you want it to be. When you are experiencing these triggers, acknowledge those triggers and understand your emotions on why you are feeling that way. Self-reflect on those triggers. And with that triggers, it also means that you are now experiencing an episode of struggles. And with each episode of struggles that you are going to experience in your life, you are always going to encounter the people that will constantly bring you down. These people that will constantly bring us down, we can't control them. Their action towards us, we never know what they're going to do. But what we can do is that we can control our emotion and our reaction towards that situation. When we let those red light emotions control over us, we are welcoming more negative thoughts, and we are welcoming those bad moments into our mind again. And we are holding on to that red light emotions every single time, which allows us to not let go. This is the sign that you need to start letting go. And with letting go, it also means that you need to have acceptance. Accept that, yes, they did hurt you. Accept that, yes, you are hurt by them and you are changed by them. And then, this is now the reason on why you should let go. When you want to let go, I want you guys to ask yourself these 3 questions. First is, can I? Can I let this go? This allows to shift your feeling and your emotions into a feeling of willingness to let go. Second is, could I let this go? It allows you to envision the version of yourself after letting go. And the last is, would I let this go? This returns back to the question to yourself. Are you ready to put enough effort into letting it all go? When it comes to facing these bitter people in our heads, we don't know what to do to them. But then, all the people around us already know why we are hurt and why they hurt us. But then, it is our responsibility to actually bring it to our antagonist's attention that yes, they did hurt us. But by bringing it to their attention, does that mean that we need to seek revenge on them? Obviously not. If we hope for the same pain to be put back to them, if we want to give back the same pain to our antagonists, then what makes us different from the people who hurt us in the first place? So, don't downgrade yourself by changing yourself to the new antagonist, by trying to hurt them with the same pain that they did hurt you. But instead, I want you guys to upgrade yourself and renew yourself by showing them that, yes, I want to get back up from this pain. I want to get back up from this situation without wishing you the worst. This is all best described with the sentence, the biggest revenge is none. Instead of focusing on how you can get back of them, focus on yourself and how you can upgrade yourself to become someone stronger. But they don't deserve it. Why should I forgive them? These people that come into our life and decide to sabotage our life by stabbing us in the back with either betrayal or dishonesty, they leave our life peacefully without realizing that the knife that they use to stab us is still in us. When we are initially hurt, we don't know how to deal with that emotions yet. So what we do is that we keep on replaying those moments, we keep on replaying those bitter experiences in our heads, trying to ask ourselves on why it happened. But harshly, replaying those moments and replaying those thoughts is just the same as re-stabbing yourself with the same knife that your antagonist gave you. Sounds dramatic, doesn't it? But apparently, our subconscious mind can't really differentiate between reality and imagination. So when our mind is reimagining the moment when we are hurt and we are backstabbed by our antagonist, our body is experiencing the same pain over and over again. Imagine doing that to yourself for months or even years. That's brutal. This is why I want to ask you guys to please forgive. because you forgive others for the sake of forgiving yourself. Before you can forgive others, you need to first start with forgiving yourself. Forgive yourself for those countless of days of restabbing yourself with the same pain again and again. Forgive yourself for giving your heart to someone who can't value it. Forgive yourself for letting yourself down. And after that, you finally realize that everyone does deserve forgiveness, just like how you forgive yourself. But I also want to keep in mind to each one of you guys that forgiving doesn't equal to tolerating. When you forgive someone, you do show them that, yes, you forgive them. But that doesn't mean that you allow them back into your life. That doesn't mean you can tolerate them back into your life. When you are emotionally wounded, it's somehow just the same as when you are physically wounded. And when you're physically wounded, you obviously need to cover up that wound. And covering up that wound also means that you need to set the right boundary for that wound. If you're wounded with a knife, it doesn't only take a Band-Aid to secure it. Or maybe when you break your arm, you obviously need a cast to guard your broken arm. And that also means that you also need to set the healthy boundary to yourself in order for you to safeguard yourself from the next harm. If you are welcoming the same antagonist to come into your life again, that also means that you are disrespecting yourself. You are letting the same person reopen the wound that you are trying to heal. One reminder that I also want to put in each and one of you guys is that forgiving takes time. Forgiveness is a release, but healing is a process. When you want to forgive, the aftermath of forgiving is a long process of healing. And throughout that process of healing, you obviously need to take a period of recovery. And through that period of recovery, nothing comes in an instant. There are these three main things that I want to highlight throughout your period of recovery, which is coping with the emotions that you're going to experience, and then accepting on what's real right now, and then letting go of the negatives that you have experienced. All of those things doesn't come in an instance, and it needs time. So don't hurry it up. Don't rush it up. Let it all unfold naturally. Just because someone coped faster than you doesn't mean that you're weaker than them. It just means that your heart is just too hard. It's just too kind to receive the harshness of this world. But why not forget? If we, by chance, look back again to those bitter memories even after we fully forgive, is it wrong? Totally not. Apparently, what I want to highlight is that we should not forget. Fully forgetting a memory is actually impossible, except if you get like amnesia when you bang your head. But I just want to highlight that in this case, fully forgetting a memory is actually impossible. What you can do is that you can shift the perspective of your memory. Instead of making it as a sad and gloomy memory, try to bring some positivity into that memory until you can find the joy in that situation. Take the movie Inside Out as the example. In this movie, Inside Out, there are these things called the memory orbs, and each memory orbs has their own color. Each color represents the emotions that represent on behalf of the emotions. Either it could be sad, it could be happy, but by the end of the movie, it also shows these memory orbs. These are the combined emotions memory orbs. It just shows us and it tells us that in each memory, it doesn't only need to be just sad or just happy, but it could also be both. This is why I want to ask you guys to forgive to the point where you can find the joy into that situation, to the point where when you look back into that bitter situation, you'll find the joy and you'll find the happiness and you'll see that emotion as, oh yeah, this is the memory that changed myself into who I am right now. Sometimes you need to realize that these situations, it doesn't happen to you. It happens for you. Some mistakes does take us to the right place. And which is why I want to ask you guys to say this all to yourself. I am a product of the past and not a victim of the past. So, to end it all, why focus on forgetting when the key is forgiving? You forgive because it is a crucial step of your self-healing. And you don't forget because now you realize that that moment and that memory is a golden gift that emerges into who I am right now and that changes us into a stronger self. And you start accepting because you realize that the biggest revenge is moving on and letting go. So, if you don't want to end up being the someone who hurt you in the first place, if you don't want to be the new antagonist, I want to ask you guys, starting from today, start forgiving, but don't despise forgetting. My name is Daphne and Ophelia. Thank you so much for the opportunity.